Hello and welcome. If you or someone you care about has recently been diagnosed with celiac disease, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down what it all means and how you can manage it one step at a time.
Before we start, please remember that this video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider about any questions you have regarding your health.
Getting a new diagnosis like this, well, it can feel like a lot to take in. But listen, you don't have to figure this all out at once. The whole point of this explainer is to give you a clear, simple foundation so you can feel confident moving forward. Let's do this together.
All right, so let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is celiac disease, and what's really going on inside your body? So at its core, celiac disease is something we call an autoimmune condition. Now that's just a fancy way of saying your body's defense system gets a little confused. For someone with celiac, when they eat gluten, their own body reacts by attacking and damaging a part of itself, and specifically, it attacks the small intestine.
To really get what that damage means, let's picture the inside of your small intestine. It's lined with millions of these tiny finger-like things called villi. Their job is super important. They reach out and they grab all the good stuff, the vitamins and nutrients from your food so your body can use it for energy.
Okay, so in a healthy intestine, those villi are long and they do a fantastic job grabbing nutrients. Your body gets all the fuel it needs. But with celiac disease, when gluten comes into the picture, those villi get damaged and flattened out. And when they're flat, they just can't grab onto nutrients the right way. This is a big reason why people can feel so tired or have other health issues. Their body is literally starving for fuel.
So if the villi are getting damaged, what's causing it? Well, the trigger is a protein you've probably heard of called gluten.
Gluten itself isn't some bad guy, you know? It's just a protein. You find it naturally in grains like wheat, barley, and rye, which of course means it's in a lot of common foods, bread, pasta, you name it. For most people, it's totally harmless.
Let's use an analogy here. Think of your immune system as your body's own personal security team. Its main job is to spot real invaders, like germs, and get rid of them to keep you safe and healthy.
But with celiac disease, the security team makes a mistake. It gets some bad intel. It sees gluten and thinks it's a dangerous intruder, so it launches this huge attack. The problem is, the attack doesn't just hit the gluten. It also creates a lot of collateral damage right where the gluten is, in the lining of your small intestine. And that's what flattens those important villi we just talked about.
Okay, so that's the problem. But now, let's get to the most important part, the solution. And the great news is, the solution is incredibly effective, and it's something that puts you in complete control of your own healing.
And here's the key takeaway. The one and only proven treatment for celiac disease is a strict, lifelong gluten-free diet. This isn't just a suggestion, and it's not a temporary fix. For you, the gluten-free diet is the medicine. By removing that trigger, the gluten, you stop the attack on your intestine. Simple as that.
The whole path to feeling better really boils down to these 3 steps. First, you remove all the gluten from your diet. That stops the damage in its tracks. Second, your body finally gets the chance to do what it does best, which is heal itself. And third, as your intestine heals, your symptoms start to get better, and you protect your body from bigger health issues down the road.
And the results are they're powerful. Once you take the gluten away, your intestinal villi can actually heal and regrow. As they come back, your symptoms will improve. Your body will finally be able to absorb nutrients again, which means more energy for you. Plus, it helps prevent serious long-term issues, like having weak bones.
So, the plan is to avoid gluten. Sounds straightforward, right? But how do you actually do that safely in day-to-day life? Well, it's all about learning to spot where gluten might be hiding. And this is such an important question. Because, yeah, you know to skip the obvious stuff, like bread and pasta, but gluten is often used as a thickener or a filler in all sorts of foods where you just would not expect it.
Let's look at some of the usual suspects. You'll find it in sauces and gravies, lots of canned soups, and even salad dressings. It can be in processed meats like sausages too. And believe it or not, it's sometimes used in medications and vitamin supplements, which is why checking everything is so important.
Now, there's another sneaky way gluten can get into your food. It's called cross-contamination, and all that means is that a tiny amount of gluten accidentally touches your gluten-free food.
This can happen so easily. Using the same toaster for regular bread and gluten-free bread, that's a classic example. Shared cutting boards.
using the same butter knife, or even a deep fryer at a restaurant that cooks breaded chicken fingers and French fries, those can all be sources of contamination.
I know, this might sound like a lot to remember, but I want you to reframe it in your mind. From now on, reading labels and asking questions is your superpower. You're not being difficult or picky. You are being your own best health advocate, and that vigilance is what will keep you safe and feeling great.
And it's so critical to remember why this matters so much. We know now that even a tiny amount of gluten, I'm talking about a few crumbs, can be enough to kick off that immune reaction and stop your intestine from healing.
But please, if you hear anything today, hear this. You are absolutely not alone on this journey. Learning a whole new way of eating takes time, it takes patience, and it takes support. And there are so many resources out there to help you.
Building your healthcare team is key. Keep talking with your doctor. Working with the registered dietitian who really gets celiac disease can be a total game changer. They can help with meal plans and finding safe foods. And honestly, connecting with other people who are going through the same thing in a support group can be an amazing source of tips and encouragement.
This diagnosis isn't a limitation, it's a roadmap. It's the beginning of truly understanding your body, giving it exactly what it needs to heal, and taking back control of your own health. So my question for you is, are you ready to take control and start your healing journey?